Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Random Run. In Random Run, we try to highlight books from my collection that aren't necessarily the books that you would see on the wall behind me, but are nevertheless awesome books unto themselves. The one that we're going to highlight today is one that is core to my childhood. I literally remember riding my bike to the comic shop every single time that this book came out to pick up the latest copy. And I don't think that I'm missing one of the 25 books that I'm about to show you. I think I literally have 1 through 25, and then I have multiple copies within that, and several of those books are also signed. I am talking about Todd McFarlane's 1990-ish Spider-Man. And I guess you could even throw in Eric Larson because he took over the title at one point or another. This is a fantastic story arc that I'm actually thinking about rereading again just because I have such fond memories of the title from my childhood. But stay tuned because we are about to jump into part 2 where I actually show you these fantastic pieces of art. I hope that you enjoy. All right, we're going to get things started with 3 of the number ones, and it's this spread here that is what contributed to Spider-Man being one of the best-selling comic books ever. Just about every kid out there and collector thought that he had to have every cover out there, and so that's why many of us actually have multiples of these books in our collection. Unfortunately, I do not have a single of the platinum book, but a healthy number of these 3. So we'll stack those together there. Next up, we have another Todd McFarlane cover, number 2, Bloodlust of the Lizard. Also noted that that is a newsstand version. Number 3, probably one of my least favorite covers. Not quite sure what's going on with that background, but it is what it is. Next up, number 4, The Lizard Lives. Number 5, and this is actually the start of when I started getting many of these books signed back in the day by Gregory Wright, who I believe was the editor of Marvel at the time. So here is number 6. This one is a newsstand, also signed here in the lower left-hand corner. Number 7, another newsstand signed. And this book, I want to say, is really where Ghost Rider was at the height of his popularity back in the 90s. You know, he had those glow-in-the-dark covers, he had his own title, and he was doing a lot of crossovers. At least that's how I remember it. Number 8, also signed. Great cover there by McFarlane. Number 9, and this is Wolverine in his, I guess it's the 80s uniform that he used to wear. A little thick in the waist there by Todd. Maybe he was not on a diet, but this book is signed, and it's the beginning of a story arc involving Wolverine and the Wendigo. Speaking of the Wendigo, there he is on the cover of number 10. This book is also signed, and it looks like Wolvie is back in his old uniform. Number 11, a continuation of that story arc. Number 12, another signed book, another Wolverine crossover. Number 13, signed there in the lower right-hand corner. Number 14, and this book to me is a little bit of a departure for some of the Spider-Man books in that it has, there's really no reds, not really. It's purple, which is a little unusual for Spider-Man, but it really is a really nice cover. I may actually have to go back and read this title because I actually don't really recall all of what happened in these particular books, so it may be an opportunity for me to dig in my short boxes here. So here is number 15, featuring the Beast on the cover. Gorgeous yellow background there, and this book is also signed. Here is number 16. Rotate that one a little bit so you can appreciate that. Pretty cool cover there, featuring X-Force. Very neat. Number 17, Little Thanos there. Also signed, also newsstand. And this cover is not by Todd McFarlane. Number 18, another signed book, another Ghost Rider crossover. This book, I believe, is also signed here. A little hard to see in the left-hand side there. Number 19, great cover there. I really like that version of the Hulk here. This is some Erik Larsen work. He did a really good job, in my opinion, on Spider-Man and certainly on Incredible Hulk. As I've mentioned, this one, I think, nope, it is not signed. All right, number 20, another Erik Larsen cover there. Number 21, little Deathlok crossover, who again, in my opinion, was another character that was, you know, pretty popular in the 90s, but hasn't really been seen much since then. He is in the new TV show, but we'll see whether he makes an appearance in a comic book. Here is number 22. This one is signed down here in the lower right-hand corner. Again, very hard to see, but we're doing a pretty cool crossover here with Hulk, Ghost Rider, and of course, Sleepwalker back there. Number 23, Sinister Six continuation here. Deathlok and Ghost Rider and Human Torch down here in the lower left-hand corner. Next up, number 24. And we are going to finish up this edition of Random Run with the Spider Phoenix. This is issue number 25. The great thing about this Random Run series is that it gives me an opportunity to showcase books, as I've mentioned, that don't necessarily see the light of day all that often. And instantly, many of these books take me back to my childhood, where I used to ride my bike to get each and every one of these issues that you just looked at a few moments ago. And it also, as I look at these books, it makes me a little, it makes me want to go back and read these books again. So maybe I will, and then maybe we will do a follow-up visit where I kind of revisit some of the wonderful stories and wonderful artwork that are contained in this particular title. As always, guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it.